Orochimaru is one of anime's greatest villains. He is introduced in early Naruto embodying nearly every hallmark of a phenomenal antagonist. His name inspires fear. Very few, if any, can rival his power, and he bears an unsettling charisma and a dangerous combination of intellect, ambition, and moral detachment. Whenever he is on screen, there is something ominous and foreboding that seems to grip the series. For an antagonist that was handled masterfully in Part 1, who kept the plot moving in nearly every single arc, it's very disappointing how he was handled in Shippuden. Now, this is a personal grievance, and I understand why some people actually liked the evolution of his character, or felt his character ran its course, especially near mid-Shippuden, when new, much more powerful and complex antagonists were being introduced. But a while back, I made a video going over characters with the most wasted potential in Naruto, and I ranked Orochimaru at number 2 for a reason, and that's because he had so much more to offer the story. I really love how Orochimaru was handled in early Shippuden. The loss of his arms following his battle with the third Hokage was a major handicap, and some argue that it was a mistake to cripple a top-tier villain this way. But I would counter that the trade-off was worth it. Watching Orochimaru adapt to losing nearly all of his most powerful jutsu, and still being able to go toe-to-toe against Four Tails Naruto really highlights his intelligence, ambition, and versatility as both a fighter and a villain. I personally would have loved to see Happy Sasuke go up against this version of Orochimaru instead of the giant snake form that we got. And there is so much irony and karma layered to his defeat at Sasuke's hands. One, he now knows what it feels like to be struck down by his own student after daring to raise a hand against his own sensei. And two, after years of stealing bodies and targeting Sasuke's as his next vessel, he actually finds himself trapped within Sasuke's body without any way to free himself. He has the body he's always wanted, he's just not in control. After stealing the free will from so many, he now suffers a similar fate. It's brilliant writing on Kishimoto's part. But this is where Orochimaru's story goes downhill for me. During Sasuke and Itachi's fight, he is freed from Sasuke's body only to get one-shotted and sealed away again. It's pretty embarrassing, but I do like how Sasuke is freed from Orochimaru's influence here, and by Itachi's hand no less. Itachi most definitely felt guilty about pushing Sasuke toward the darkness, so him removing him from Orochimaru's influence was another great narrative choice. However, I do think that Orochimaru escaping here instead of being sealed again would have benefited the series overall. The conditions for him escaping would have been believable as Sasuke was exhausted and Itachi was near death and nearly blind. Someone as elusive as Orochimaru should be able to survive an escape. That one little snake that we saw while the 8-headed serpent was being sealed could have been Orochimaru substituting himself, but instead of being killed by the Amaterasu, it could have managed to leave undetected and unharmed. Orochimaru at this point would be desperate for a new host, since his current body would still be failing him. After gaining enough power, I would have liked to have seen him steal Kabuto's body. Though I did enjoy exploring Kabuto's evolution to some extent, I do think Orochimaru was better suited to be one of the 3 major antagonists of the war arc, instead of Kabuto, who came across as a pale imitation who was far less compelling. This will be a tragic but fitting end to Kabuto, whose loyalty ended up costing him his life, whether he consented to being his next vessel or not. And just like that, Orochimaru has the potential to achieve Sage Mode, since Kabuto's body was compatible with the training at Ryuchi Cave. And to take things a step further, as a testament to Orochimaru's genius and ambition, I would have actually had him discover a way to unseal his arms before he returns as one of the war arc's main antagonists. With that, he would have access to the reanimation jutsu again to use as leverage against Tobi, just as Kabuto did. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Orochimaru somehow deduced that Tobi's true identity was Obito, after taunting him after summoning the real Madara right in front of him. I definitely wouldn't put that past him given all the DNA he'd been collecting, and that he'd probably be aware of who Obito was considering that Orochimaru was still in the village at the time Obito was alive and an active shinobi there. After being forced to abandon the Akatsuki and being hunted down by its members for years, it would have been an incredible twist of fate to see them reduced to his playthings by reviving them. But that's just how powerful this version of Orochimaru would be. And most importantly, he has a complex history with both the Uchiha brothers, which would make for a far more interesting confrontation than the one they had with Kabuto. After being embarrassed left and right by both Sasuke and Itachi throughout the series, this version of Orochimaru would actually give them both the fight of their lives. I can even see him doing something twisted like resurrecting their father, Fugaku, or even the entire Uchiha clan to fight against them as some form of psychological torture. Itachi having to kill his clan again, and Sasuke actually having to join him this time after being traumatized from their initial slaughter, would have been the darkest moment in Naruto history, and something only the deliciously demented mind of Orochimaru could come up with. I do think that Orochimaru meeting his end here would be extremely fitting though. Like I said, he has a complex history with both Sasuke and Itachi. He has had his eyes set on both of them since they were kids, and even trained Sasuke for years. Much of his story revolves around being a generational talent, but not quite as talented as the elites in the Uchiha clan. His perfect Uchiha vessel, always just out of reach. And for the people that do like Orochimaru's giant snake form, this fight would have been a better place to debut it than in his initial battle with Sasuke, in my opinion. As we know, Sage Mode can alter the body and make you take on more animal-like characteristics. And if you really want to go the redemption route for Orochimaru, I can see him playing the role Kabuto did near the end of the war arc by healing Sasuke from his near-fatal wound after coming out of the Izanami. Maybe he'd realize how chasing after the Uchiha has caused him to miscalculate many times, from losing to them during every encounter, to both Itachi and Madara finding a way to break free from his control under the reanimation jutsu, to now Madara threatening to cast an infinite genjutsu over the world, which Orochimaru would most likely never go along with. His ambition literally being the catalyst for the end of the entire world. I also think this time in the Izanami would help him realize that he doesn't need to keep stealing other people's bodies and abilities, and that with this level of scientific brilliance, he can unlock the mysteries of nature in a more humane way. Perhaps he discovers this other way after seeing the origin of both chakra and ninjutsu once seeing the Sage of Six Paths and Kaguya in person. Or maybe his curiosity would finally be satisfied after meeting these deities, and he can finally move on to finding meaning in life in a more healthy way. On the other hand, there are many people who believe that Orochimaru should have never been offered a path of redemption. His actions at the height of his role as a villain are truly detestable, and I understand this side of the argument as well. But that does it for this video. Tell me, how do you feel about the way Orochimaru's story ended in Naruto? Do you think that he should have remained a villain, or do you like what they've done with the character? Leave your thoughts down below. Please leave a like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.